Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear me really well.
Oh,
Awesome. How are you doing,
yeah,
mate?
sorry. I've never done the verification thing before, so it took me a second to figure out.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm gonna change that. Like we put security. Like this server was like something big or insane, but yeah, we're gonna chill on the security for sure. Because after you did that, you had to go on I don't remember what channel. Like you had to go on the verification channel, or in like you have captcha plus verification to do, and you have to log in twice to your Discord account. Like it's way too much. It's way too much.
Yeah.
And anyway, how are you doing, mate?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I mean, I just woke up, so I will like slowly wake up throughout the coaching, but it's gonna be enough focus. Don't worry about that. I'm not gonna talk too loud because my GF is sleeping in the room next to me. So just tell me if at some point like I'm not talking loud enough, just let me know and I will boost the volume a bit.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, no
how,
problem. I can hear you pretty well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm standing like pretty close to my mic. How do I call you? My CEO or
You can call me Alex.
Alex? Okay, I will call you Alex. What time is it for you, Alex? Right now, just curious.
It's 1 a.m.
1 a.m. Oh, okay, okay. So I will try not to make the coaching last too long. Um, so you can still get a bit of sleep. So you're in NA, right? East or west or center?
East.
Okay, okay. Um, so Alex, are we going to do live review or VOD review? I think it was live, no?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing like a live so I can kind of like ask you some questions about my decision making in game, and maybe you can see if I'm making any macro mistakes.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Okay. So that so macro mistakes is what you think would be holding you back the most. So whenever I'm coaching, I will look for the 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 things that if you work on, you will get the most results short term. So what do you think these would be?
Um, I think my laning is pretty weak compared to other players that I play against,
Mm-hmm.
and I think some games I can get too focused on split pushing, and I don't really like think about flanking. So
Mm,
maybe like kind of determining what fight is winnable that I should rotate to.
okay. Yeah, those are like pretty interesting like problems to fix, in my opinion. And regarding the laning, what makes yours weaker? Is it like the trade patterns? Is it like the wave management, or is it a bit of both?
I think for me it's like it's certain matchups I have like mental blocks against. Like I play mid and Zed is like a really difficult one for me.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that is pretty boring if it's a good set. Okay, well, we'll get right into it. So you can start sharing your screen and start looking for a game, and we'll keep doing a bit of talking until we find one. So can you
Okay.
just move your yeah? Okay, it seems to be working really well. Nice. Um. Okay, so you're playing it mid. What build do you go for? Just curious. Doesn't matter too much.
Um, I like rushing Ravenous, but I've
Okay.
also been experimenting with the Stride Breaker build.
Mm-hmm. Any preference?
Um, I personally enjoy Ravenous a lot more, just like being able to stay on the map and power farm a lot.
Mm. Yeah. So I mean, personally, I've had a hard time like getting into Stride Breaker. Um, but I've seen like I've coached now players that play it, and then I see the strengths that it has. When it's useful, it's pretty useful. I just feel like maybe Hydra is like, of course, it's better push on Hydra, and on mid lane it's like pretty OP just to be able like to clear your wave with like 2 autos on the melees, dash in, wave gone, and then you have so much time. plus the
Yeah,
sustaining into something like a Z matchup. Like a lot of mid matchups will look to poke you the sustain plus your Q, etc. Okay, I was just curious about it. It's not gonna matter too much.
okay.
Um, okay, and how long have you been playing Trend?
I think since season 10 or 11.
Okay, always played it mid.
No, I've played mostly top, but I think like last season I started playing mid more.
Yeah, yeah. I was wondering because like Trend mid is like people realized pretty recently of how good it actually was. So I'm gonna ask you like a first question here. Is so why do you think Tryndamere is good? What makes Tryndamere a good pick?
Um, I think it's a little easier to snowball mid since like most mid laners are pretty squishy. So I find myself like not snowballing that hard when I play against like tanks top that just like neutralize the lane.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Um, well, since you're mid, you can invade with your jungler pretty easily and you can gank bot lane. I feel like you have a lot more early impact on the game versus like playing top lane, and I like that a lot. But then
Okay.
I also find that if I lose mid, then it's like it's pretty bad for my team because then the enemy mid laner just roams on my whole team.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's that. I mean that's mid lane pretty much. Like regardless of the champion you're playing, falling behind in mid is like huge weight for your team. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen any of my other coachings, but I like to do two exercises. The first one we're gonna do it right now is if you can just look at the comps, the champs, the matchups, and just tell me whatever you think is useful for the game, like doing the thinking, like I call it.
Mm, okay, so I see their team's like pretty tanky, so I'm probably gonna be going for Kraken Slayer this game. Um, let's see. Sometimes I like to invade the enemy jungle early, but since it's a Kha'Zix, I think he's someone that I don't want to 1v1 in the jungle, so I'm not gonna go for that. But if my jungler is invading, I can follow him since Vlad is a weaker earlier than me. Um, hmm.
Maybe try like top lane matchup, jungle matchup, mid matchup,
Oh, okay.
like really quickly, like top. If you think one dominates jungle, if there's anything obvious.
Um, I'm not really too familiar with the top matchup, but I think Darius has the advantage there. And I think bot lane could go either way. I think I have the advantage mid lane since Vlad is like a pretty weak early laner.
Oh, crows.
Oh, no assist.
Mm. You still get the experience, right? You put your mouse on
Uh-huh.
your. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 6
So
experience.
I think you still get level 2 from first wave. I think like all you need is like 2 or 3 experience. Okay. So how are you gonna play out like the first waves on this matchup? are you planning on doing against this Vladimir?
Think I'm just gonna spin on him on repeat to do some damage
Nice.
and try to like get the level advantage early.
Take.
Probably like keep trading with him until I can all in.
Do you know where Kha'Zix is right now?
I think he's going up to his wolves.
How many CS does he have?
10. Not sure, maybe he didn't fully kill a camp. Okay. So now I'm gonna try to push. Oh, whoops. It's a mistake.
Where trying to push?
I was gonna push so I could get prio for the crab. But it looks like Darius rotated, so I think it's okay. I accidentally skilled my E instead of my W. Whoops.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
So what's your plan now?
I'm gonna try to get the wave on my side, so maybe I can all in him. Okay. Think I'll just try to freeze. Yeah, that Kha'Zix gank kind of chunked me a bit.
What do
Oh
you want to
well.
get on your first base?
I want to get Berserker Greaves.
Like that.
Yeah, I'm like kind of scared to go in because I don't know where the Kha'Zix is.
slain.
I think that's not too bad since the wave's coming back to me.
Yeah. Oh, he has no flash. True.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I struggle against Vlad if they take like Ghost Flash and Phase Rush.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, I wasn't too sure about that all in, but then yeah, I realized that yes, if he has no flash, you can just all in on CD. Okay, so what's your plan now for the next minute or so?
Um, I guess just like get as much of these minions as possible.
Mm-hmm. And then what?
And then uh maybe just look to pressure Vlad a bit. See Herald's coming up soon, so I'll try to get Prio and help my jungler with that. If he decides to go for either Herald or Dragon. Oh, oh yeah, that was my bad.
Okay, I mean we got what to play it for. Got the Herald.
I
Okay.
didn't really think about him alt flashing.
Hmm.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree. Enemy double kill.
Okay, what now? What's your next sequence?
Um, hmm. I guess just farm up. Maybe help bot if I can. Or play around my jungler since he's pretty strong.
And what could you do with your jungler? Let's imagine a
Uh,
perfect world where you're in vocal and you can agree on a play.
um, oh, we could both gank a lane or we could invade the enemy jungle.
Mhm.
I think another thing I need to work on is like where to put wards
Hmm.
in the enemy jungle.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it after the game for sure.
An enemy has been slain. Shut down. An ally has been
Happens. You had Ghost and Fresh. Were you considering like all-inning, or did you want like to stop the trade?
I think I wanted to try to get his W and back out, but
Mm.
he was holding on to it. I wanted to try to get his W before like all-inning him, but he did like a lot more damage than I expected.
An ally has been slain.
I don't think I should have gone in. I think I kind of baited myself into that one.
Do you think it was foreseeable that it was a losing play, most likely?
Yeah, our jungler already died and we were pretty outnumbered.
Hmm.
An enemy is unstoppable.
Well, that game just took a turn.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
What now?
I think I just go farm a different lane. 'Cause even if I show up, I think I just int again.
Mm-hmm.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, that was pretty bad by me. I saw my top laner going in, so I kind of wanted to go into, even though it was a bad fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we have a bit of time, nothing crazy is going on, so we can do a bit of thinking. So, what could be like your way or your ways as a team to come back and win that game?
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Um, I think just like trying to split up the enemy team.
An enemy is dominating.
Okay, that's your only way out.
Yeah, so I think it'd be pretty hard for us to win team fights now.
Hmm?
I think like since I didn't do too great in lane, I could maybe go like Hull Breaker to make my split push a little better. So I don't think I can be too useful in team fights now. I think their team's like a little hard to fight into. It's like it get kited pretty hard. Well,
Okay, so what's the next objective on the map?
the dragon.
Mm-hmm. So, how you're gonna help your team get the dragon?
Hmm. I think I should probably split top, but
But you win bots.
yeah. I think I should swap with my top laner soon, though. It's not for another 2 minutes, so maybe in the next minute. Hmm.
Okay, so when you're gonna respond in 20 seconds, where are you going and why?
I think it might be too late to push out top, so I'm just gonna catch the bot wave.
Your turret has been destroyed.
And plus Darius is already top.
Mhm.
I have my ult coming up, so maybe I can help my team with this fight. Urgot has no teleport, so he probably won't be joining this one.
Enemy killing spree.
Okay, I mean we're playing for Drake. We got the Drake. We got a big shutdown.
Hmm.
Okay, so Hullbreaker boat. Where to now?
Hmm. I think I'll probably pressure bot lane since Baron's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
An enemy is legendary. Enemy
Okay.
double kill.
Oh, that's actually pretty huge for our team.
Maybe Nash, maybe Nash, maybe Nash.
Yeah.
I said maybe though. I don't wanna into the game, you know, but did you see it? Do you see it?
Yeah. I think it's a little risky though. I don't know if we can do it fast enough.
Oh, you should go. Oh, you should completely go. Get Belveth. And now, okay, now it's too late. So like Belveth is really fast at taking Nash, especially with our Kraken Slayer. And you still have decent damage, and it's all about like putting him low enough before Kha'Zix has the time to come. And Kha'Zix was dead for 22 seconds. So 22 seconds plus the time it takes him to come to you. I think it was Nash.
Oh, okay.
She can steal it.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill. An ally has been slain.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm playing pretty badly this game.
It's all good. Up. Have you played like games on the current patch other than this one?
I played like one match today, but
Was it
that's
a
it.
was it a long one or was it like stomp?
Um, Let me see. It was like a 30-minute game.
Okay,
I
nice.
think
So,
it was
so
like a pretty close game.
uh-huh. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna review that one for sure because I have like a few things I want to talk about. If by the end of that game we feel like it's a bit too short and we missed a bit of content because the game was ended up being a storm for enemy team, then I can like just look at the other games starting in mid late game, and so this way we'll have a bit of early, a bit of mid game from this one, and the other one, and then a bit of late game also. Does
Okay.
that sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, awesome. So you can stop sharing your screen. I will start sharing mine. Up, screen one. So now I just go here, here. Here. So okay, do you see my screen share?
Yeah.
Nice. So it started around here. Okay, nice. Do you need to grab water? Do you need to take a piss? Do you need something, or do we go straight into it?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. It was a short game. I usually ask that when we have 40 minutes game. True. I'm gonna take the things chronologically. I feel like for you, from what I've seen, like I'm not seeing one thing that's like big or too big. I'm seeing a lot of little adjustments that has to be made. So I will talk through all of them, every like tiny bit of information I can think of, and then you after that coaching, you kind of will have to like kind of decide like to focus on some of these points. Like you cannot focus on every single aspect that I will mention. Um, but I think you will be able to do it because I'm sure some mistakes you did here, you don't do them consistently. Maybe it was just that game in particular, but some of them you know that you make them consistently. For example, like the vision like didn't appear to me as like too bad. I mean, of course, it was not like the best, but if you tell me, okay, I have an issue with my vision, it means that you know that over 100 games, like it's something that you have a hard time dealing with. So yeah, I will give you like a big toolbox, and then you will decide which tools like you're gonna work on or work with.
Okay.
Okay, so first, like I forgot to mention the second exercise, which was like jungle tracking, which is like super important. Um, the first one was doing the thinking. So the way you did the thinking, I feel like it's an exercise that you don't often do, I would guess, or like you don't default to doing it, or do you maybe?
I definitely don't do that much thinking. I
Mm-hmm.
usually only think about like my lane matchup and
Yeah.
maybe the jungle matchup.
Okay. So yeah, it
That's
showed because of the low amount of information you were like able to actually give me, bro. How do I take this out? It keeps sometimes disappears and I cannot take it out. Uh, it's okay. We're gonna do with it. So it's something. So I mean, it's a good thing that you managed to get to Diamond 4, like only like focusing on yourself. Now, if you want to get higher or if you want to bring more quality to your games and be able to win more and to understand the game better, you need to extend your thinking to the rest of your team. You need to look at that like if you are a natural individual, like if like you are someone that's not playing the game even, and that's watching like a competitive game, and you're looking at the comps, and now you do the thinking. I feel like yours was way too Trinda centered.
Mm.
So a good way to do it, a good way to facilitate your thinking will be to do matchup by matchup. So top, jungle, mid, bot. Then you can ask yourself about like random 5v5 at 14 minutes for Drake, you know, like mid game random 5v5 when everyone has one item or two. And then you can think of very late game, like does one team have the scaling? That way you know that sometimes the game can be won just by like trading waves and CS, because you know that at 20 plus minutes you're just winning. You have Kog, Lulu, Karthus, etc., and it's just won. um, and then you look at the champions like specificities, and some champions have some specificities, and I will explain that. So I'll tell you how I will do the thinking.
Okay.
So I'm saying Darius into Urgot. I have Darius with Ghost and Flash against Urgot with Ghost Flash TP. So I'm seeing already that Darius, like, he's a lane bully and he's really good into like champions that he get on top of. And Urgot is like a biggest champion, and all he has is his E, but his E is like such a long channel time. So Darius can actually cancel his E with his own E. So plus the fact that he has 2 combat sims versus 1. Like, I feel like Darius should shit on that Urgot, or could shit on that Urgot, at least, like, theoretically, like, champion versus champion. Okay, Kha'Zix versus Bel'Veth. Well, the two are kind of scalers. Bel'Veth can still have some pressure of ganking in the first few levels because of her E and how close she can get to the opponents. Bel'Veth also something, when we talk about specificities, Bel'Veth is a jungler that likes to play topside. She thrives on heralds way more than drakes. So, okay, it's a good thing because now we know that Darius, the topside matchup looks good. Jungle matchup wants to play topside. Well, me as a mid laner, who am I gonna play for? Already I know, without even looking at the bot lane, that I have a good, really good option bot side. Now let's still see at bot lane, Samira and Nautilus. Okay, that looks like a pretty good combo with Ignite on Nautilus into Thresh Ashe, which also looks like a bit scary because like it's engaged sub with an ADC. So I think bot is very volatile, meaning that if one gets ahead, they can snowball from it. Okay, so we can actually like play everywhere on the map in our team because of that. So we're gonna kind of play with Bel'Veth. I think that's the good idea. Like, if Bel'Veth wants to play for bot, we're gonna play with her. If she wants to play for top, which should happen, and it actually happens in the game, because it's Bel'Veth, and she's gonna play for Herald, well, we're gonna play with her. Okay, interesting. And then do we see another thing? I'm just gonna say the name of the champions that are gonna deal damage. Darius, Bel'Veth, Tryndamere, Samira. Does something tick?
Um,
AD,
have like
AD,
oh
AD, AD. You play the whole like 24 minutes game, and at no point you mention the fact that you guys were full AD,
oh.
which matters. Which matters a lot, a whole lot. So, okay, I'm gonna just end up with the Vladimir matchup, of course. So Vladimir is a champion that just wants, like, he's gonna be a monster late game, monster very late game. So we can look to get a few kills early on because he has Ghost Ignite versus Flash Ghost, so we can run him down. Plus he has no phase rush, he has Conqueror, that's really important. But then if you decide to just play safely and scale up, it's gonna work. So we need to win the game before he's getting level 16. So for doing that, I think as Tryndamere, you want to shove out waves. You cannot like dive Vladimir from full HP and then play for either the bot lane or the top lane or the heralds or the Nash, etc. Okay, and then the fact that they're full AD, at that point you're talking about building Kraken. Well, I think it's really bad to build Kraken because Kraken deals on AD damage, you know, and Urgot is gonna be such a monster, and Thresh is gonna be such a monster. So I think you should either build for these guys, who are not gonna have too much armor, or you should build for the split, or like you need to make something happen, or like to stomp the game, because now the scaling is for them 100%. Full AD, Vladimir, Kha'Zix, and that's enough. This guy is gonna scale with armor, this guy is gonna scale with armor, this guy is gonna scale naturally, this guy is gonna scale naturally, and then they have an Ashe.
Okay.
And this matters a lot for the rest of our game. Because now, like, if you are a caster and you are looking at this game and you are commenting it, you will be like, oh shit, this team has to win in like 20 minutes or it's gonna be over. If one of these guys gets enabled, it's gonna be looking really bad. So yeah, I don't think there's any formation that I said that you don't actually know or you couldn't like think of. So maybe it's not like internalized natural, but the fact that it's two engaged subs, well, you know that. The fact that Darius looks scary into Urgot, probably you could have thought of that. I never thought about the matchup. I'm just thinking about it right now, and just sounds pretty easy to play for Darius. Belfast wants to play topside, you know that. And Vladimir scales, and these champions are AD. It's all information that you have. But now you need to actively think about it, because it's gonna dictate your plans and the way you play the game. Okay?
Okay.
So yeah, every time like you start a game, like force yourself into doing that thinking, try to get information, and the more you're doing it, the better you're gonna become at it. Because sometimes you're gonna say, this matchup, I think it goes this way, and then it doesn't, and then you're like, well, am I wrong or is my laner wrong? And maybe you will find that you were or he was, and you can just adapt your thinking. I'm gonna just suggest one thing real quick. I would suggest that you put your HUD at 0. I don't think it needs to be that big.
Oh, like the size.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it takes a lot of space. Okay. Then of course I'm not gonna talk too much about it because we were talking. I was asking you about the thinking, but the thinking also brings us to like now we need to connect our thinking to the level 1 play and then the level 3 play, etc. And then the waves. First sequence is minute 0 to 130, so we should look at who wins the level 1. Do we win it, etc. You have Nautilus, you should go, but I will put that on the fact that I was making you talk, so that's probably why you were late. But what I would expect from you is like to notice that you guys are winning the level 1. Nautilus has way more impact than Thresh, level 1, because of his passive. Darius is pretty poggers, Belvas is pretty poggers. You're decent as Tryndamere, so you should be picking the invade long term.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm asking you about the waves and what plan you're having. And you're telling me you want to dash on CD. So when I was talking to you about what makes Tryndamere a really good mid pick, for me there are like 3 answers. The fact that in mid lane, as you said, people are pretty squishy, like you don't really have bad matchups. Top lane you have a lot of bad matchups. Mid lane you don't really have many bad matchups. It's like LeBlanc, and then you can ban her. That's one. The second one is you have infinite sustain, and most of the mid laners you're gonna face, it doesn't work with this guy, but if you think Syndra, if you think Vel'Koz, if you think Zed, they don't have sustain at all. And you can just press Qs. So that's also really good. That's why you can just dash on CD, E auto, E auto, E auto, and then you just press a few Qs and you all traded them. So that's also pretty stupid. And then the third thing is perma-shoving, like the fact that you can insta-clear away with Tiamat or Iron Spike Whip and then rotate on the map faster than your opponent because you have your E and you dash through walls. And also after level 6, you can like dive bot or top because you can tank the turret for 5 seconds plus. So those are the 3 things that are part of Tryndamere's identity that make him a good mid laner. So now let's see how we play around all of these. So of course tell me.
Oh, I think the way that I just like executed the laning was just like pretty bad. I was thinking that I would trade with him and then try to have the wave like on my side, and then I would try to force his W before all-inning him. But I ended up just like permanently shoving the wave like way too much, and then I couldn't really like pressure him at all.
Yeah. So you can't at least in the first few waves you cannot trade him and have the wave pushing to you. It's not possible. You're gonna dash on him, you're gonna auto him, the minions are gonna start hitting you. It's not gonna work. So look at like if you want as fast as possible the wave on your side, like look at me, top against Nasus with no flash. So you would expect me to like trade him from level 1. And this game I was like, okay, I would try something different. Let's do ×2. Up. And I'm just not hitting him or the wave. For a bit. So that's wave 1, wave 2. I'm making sure that it's clearly like pushes into me. And then now that it's clearly pushing, even if I hit him, even if the minions aggro me just like that, it's still pushing to me. And now Nasus doesn't have access to the wave anymore.
Okay.
That could be an option if you want to have the wave pushing to you as fast as possible. I don't think there's any mid laner in your elo that's not gonna auto the wave by default or Q spell the CS when it's not like 1 HP, etc. You can make it, yeah, like you can manipulate the wave how you want it to happen, basically. And from that actually like won the whole game from that, just from that play. So if you want that to happen, yeah, that's the only way of doing it. It's like not hitting the wave. I don't think it's the best way. I think it's fine to decide to dash auto on him on CD. But the thing is, so you want to e-auto him as much. So this kind of trades, that's what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So now we do that trade. Now the thing is, you have your E in 6 seconds. So in 6 seconds, you want to E back on him. So you want two things to happen. Yes, the wave is pushing because you eat through it. Now you want to like make it push slow, let the second wave happen, come, because you don't want to be in a situation where the second wave you have to crush it and it's very close to his turret. You can't really crush it. But that's exactly what happens. So the issue here is the auto attacks are gonna hit now. This auto, this auto,
yeah.
this auto. Because now look at your next E. Second E, I mean, here you could also you could still dash on him and auto him without getting in turret range. It's pretty short. It has to be perfect, actually. But here it's possible, for example. Little E auto. But here you use your second E for CS. I don't know why even we E out here.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But the thing
I
is,
think
you can't even E in because now he's in turret range. Because you push the wave.
yeah. Pretty sure
So,
he
yeah.
held those minions too, and then the wave was in a really bad position for me.
Oh yeah, of course he's gonna hold them. Like you would hold them also at that
Yeah.
point. And now we're in that situation we talked about. And now look at the third E. We E for CS, which we don't even need though. Again.
Yeah.
So now the whole plan you had as TRYNDAMERE, which makes you snowball a game, is doomed. It doesn't. Yeah, this doesn't happen. So now Vladimir gets a bit of extra time on his scaling, and you just didn't make your plan happen.
Yeah.
So it was all about those auto attacks that you hit, basically. After the first trade, I really like it, but then you need to understand that you want to put yourself in a position where you can just auto attack. So you want to put him in a position where if he wants to last hit, he's in the danger of getting E'd in and auto attacked, and not under his turret, basically. So I think that's a really good thing to take from that first few levels, because this is how you're gonna play like 90% of your matchups as TRYNDAMERE mid, and do not choose your E for CS if you don't absolutely need it, if it's not for a cannon, if it's not for 2 CS, etc. Or if unless you're sure that you're not gonna use it for the enemy champion, you should be very careful with your E's. The earlier you are in the game, the less resources you have, the more they matter. So here, now regarding the jungle tracking. So I didn't want to ask you very early when we had the ward on the blue buff, because you could just look at your map and say Kha'Zix spot. So I wanted to wait a bit and then see if we had that into account. But did you have that into account before we even see him here with the ward? Did you just know that we had a ward on his blue buff? So most likely, if he's not starting blue buff, he's starting bot side. Did you have that in mind?
Yeah, I had an idea that he was bot side.
Okay. Now my whole point is here, we see him. I think you put your camera really quick on him. Did you see if he has a red buff or not?
I don't think I processed if he had a red
Yeah,
buff or not.
because my point is here, like Kha'Zix, like he could. I mean, I know it's not the best clear, but he could go Golems, Raptors, red buff into maybe. So now he has the red buff for as long as possible. Like usually Kha'Zix, people think like they should just start red or blue buff, but actually like good Kha'Zix players, they would start with W. They would start on Raptors, and then they can do like Raptors. Red buff bot or Raptors Golem red buff bot. This way they have the red buff for the longest duration possible, and they can already impact the bot side. So I would be concerned of just like knowing, just pressing tab, seeing if it has 8 or 4 CS. And that way I know that after this camp, I know if he's either gonna go on his red buff or he's gonna go on his top side. Yeah, that's it. So I
Yeah,
ask you
I
like,
guess
can
I
you press
wasn't
tab?
really thinking about that. I just kinda assumed that was his 3rd camp.
Yeah, yeah, like most likely it's gonna be, especially in your elo. As I'm telling you, like I'm giving you like the biggest toolbox possible.
Mhm,
Yeah, just saying that things might happen. You know, guys might like
yeah,
they might get, the higher you're gonna go, the more creative junglers are gonna be, and they're gonna like switch their clears around, because here like they know that later people are gonna just know that, well, he's gonna be there and then there and then there, so they can play around it. You know.
mhm,
Okay, so now we have that situation where we know that Belveth is playing towards top side and Kha'Zix is playing towards top side. So there's most likely going to be a scuttle fight. So
mhm.
how do we want to affect this scuttle fight? That's the question.
Um, I think I was thinking of, like, shoving in the wave so that I could be there on time for the scuttle fight.
Mm-hmm. But it's too late.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, the fact that you didn't crash the first two waves correctly made that the third wave was also very close to his turret, so you can't really contest it. And now you're
yeah,
kind of forced to. So now you have to push all of this plus a wave when Vladimir only has to contest like this. So what you want to push is you want to get this wave on the turret, but this wave is gonna get hit by Vladimir plus 10 CS. You know. So at that
yeah,
point, it's a bit complicated. So it's a plan that you should have like first from the start. That like whenever like you see, as soon as you see like there's gonna be a scuttle fight, that's why like mid is such a broken rule. Like I feel like there's a common rule that you can give to yourself. If the junglers are not matching each other, it's good to have the wave on your side. That way, your jungler can come after scuttle, and the enemy jungler can only counter gank or just base. And if there is scuttles are gonna be traded, or there's gonna be a scuttle fight, then it's good to have the push so you can impact it. Basically, that's a good
mhm,
like common rule to have. But it should be connected to your junglers and to the scuttles. Like that's the first objective on the map.
okay.
Now,
I never thought of that.
okay, well, that's a good thing. If I can teach you a few things, that's my job.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually realized it while coaching people, and after like coaching like 4 or 5 mid laners, I was like, you know what, guys, you can just take like this common rule. Like you don't have actually that many common rules in league, but this is a good one, I think. Now I'm still fine with the wave like pushing to you, because it's still like the reason is we still have top prio. Like having top and mid prio is a luxury. Like most likely you don't need both of those. The mid laner is still a Vlad. Like it's not the most pressure at level 3. You know, like it's not that scary on a skirmish top side. So like for example the 2v2 Darius Belveth wins on Kha'Zix Vladimir. I don't know if you agree with that, but
Hmm,
I think it's pretty clear, you know.
yeah.
And so I'm still pretty fine. I think here you go to like you know that he has no vision here. We didn't see him ward, and you are pressuring the whole time. So he has no vision on
Oh,
Belveth.
I think I thought that he warded, so I thought the gank wasn't gonna work, or he would have seen Bel'Veth already.
Okay. I
'Cause
don't know.
I kinda saw him walk towards the bush earlier, but he might have just, like, walked and not warded. I'm not
Hmm.
sure.
Well, I mean, then there's another issue. If you think it's not gonna work, well, go for it, you know? Because now just Belveth gives vision,
Yeah,
and now
that's
they have
true.
information on Belveth. So if you think there's a ward, you should ping that there's a ward. And if you don't think there's a ward, you should wait for Belveth to come. But it needs just a little bit of communication. Maybe if you ping that there's a ward, Belveth wouldn't want to show, you know? And then she
Yeah.
just, because here she traded her golems for gank mid.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I didn't really get anything out of that.
okay. And now we decide to push, but as I said, it's being like it's a bit too late for that decision. And now what happens is that you actually have the wave in a bad spot. And I don't know where you hover bot, by the way. Why are we here and not here? If your Belveth is playing top.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think just bad movement.
Mm-hmm. And even here, like the fact that yeah, you're still like playing on the bot side, where that's what, and now you're moving top in reaction, and now you're realizing that your wave is bad, and now you're just being like driven by the game, you know. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like that could be a nice like general like mindset or idea to get, because now you have to stay for this. By the way, see how Darius had the opportunity to move because of a freeze. Like you're not forced to have a push to be able to move. If you have a freeze and you move, well, Vladimir, if he moves, he's fucked. Just like in your situation, like here you don't want to move because he has a freeze. So you see, like you don't have to have the push or a crash to be able to move. You have to have the wave in a good position, which you had. Like here, if Urgot moves, he loses a whole wave. If Urgot doesn't move, well, Darius can just move freely. And now Darius comes back when the wave is crashing. He's doing it really well. So it was good to have a freeze. Having the freeze could be good enough. Because again, Vladimir like will be stuck. The only issue is you don't have that big of a timer, because once Vladimir has cleared the wave, you need to go back like quick before you lose golden experience. Like it reminds me like of my dad at some point. So I was learning driving, and I was driving, and my dad was in the car, and we're like in a very small city in France, a very like medieval city, and we had a big ass car, and then he really like didn't like the way I was driving, and he told me, you need to be driving the car, and you need not to let the car drive you. And at the moment I was like, what a boomer, what is he talking about? Of course I'm driving the car, like it's not driving me. But then later when I played League, I actually understood that sometimes you're driving the game and sometimes you're letting the game drive you, you know? And I feel like you're playing in reaction to so many plays. Like here, like you dash in reaction of Belveth coming, you stay in reaction of the wave being bad, you decide to move in reaction of seeing the fight starting. Like you're not the one making the plan and sticking to it. Your plan is too I don't know, you're letting everything external to you like decide for you of the plan. So you should like, of course you should take all of this into consideration when making a plan. You should take every like the external factors, but then you need to make a plan and stick to it. And I feel like that might be something that you failed. The same, we see Urgot just hitting a bit, Bellas, boom, we're moving. Okay, now it's over. We stop moving. So you're just like reacting a bit too much when you should be the one like deciding if the play is a good or a bad play. Here again, your wave is not your wave is not in a good spot. So even if something is happening, like if you're moving, like even if it goes even, let's say you move and it goes even, it's losing for you. Just fix your wave first, and then you have a ton of time. And it's about that she has a million dashes, like she's fine. But you're, yeah, and then it happens like, for example, the mid play where Darius comes and you say to play a 3v5 and you say my top laner came and I wanted to help, you know. Well, you need to become the guy that says this is a bad play, don't go. That's it. And I feel like that's the biggest general idea that brings you from from like early to late game. Like that's something that from minute 1 with the invade that you didn't call, etc., to minute like 22, 23, I feel like that's a common mistake that you keep doing. Do you realize it? Were you aware of that, or do you just kind of realize it now?
What do you
Or maybe
mean,
you
like
don't agree with it.
what do you mean, like bad early game decision making?
No, like the general concept that you are reacting to whatever is happening and letting everyone decide what the plan is for you, instead of actually like deciding yourself what the best play is and calling it to your team.
Oh, yeah. I think that's just because I wasn't really like thinking too much this game.
So if I go and watch the other game, you're gonna be the one pinging and making the decisions, right? Is that what you're saying?
Uh, I definitely played better the other game, but I'm not sure. My early game was pretty bad. That other game too.
But were you at least making the decision? Like it's better like to be making bad decisions so you can learn on them than to be like just following plays. You know, that's the
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing that I'm wondering. Like, are you the one
yeah,
calling the plays?
yeah. I was definitely like more like in charge the other game.
Okay, okay. We'll look at it, of course. So here at that moment I ask you what do you want to play for, and I think you tell me about having the wave on your side and then maybe going for an all-in. um I'm seeing another play regarding like um okay, just consider how will I formulate that? Okay, do you always have in mind like what's the cannon wave rotations? Like, do you keep in mind always that when the wave is coming, are you most of the time aware that it's a cannon wave or not a cannon wave, or do you just kind of like go with the flow and notice later?
Um, I kind of just go with the flow.
Okay,
S- Sometimes I see that there's a cannon wave coming, and I know it's a good time to recall, but sometimes I don't like pay attention to it. I'm not like that consistent with it.
okay. So that should add like long term. It should become an obsession because the whole like way you're playing your waves is dependent on your junglers and the cannon waves, because cannon waves are time. There are a lot of time.
Yeah.
Lot of time for the enemy to push it, a lot of time for the turret to kill them, a lot of time for you like to base or something, etc. And time is what matters in this game, and especially with Tryndamere where you're playing without TP. Regardless if you're playing top and mid, it's super duper important that you find bases when you have the time for a base and you have the wave in a good spot. So I actually like a play that I'm seeing on that spot is that if you just, so this next wave is a cannon wave, which I know because like the wave before was not a cannon wave, so this wave is not a cannon wave. The third wave is a cannon wave. So here, imagine you push that wave, or you like even if you contest it and you base, what happens?
Then I get back to lane with items while he's still pushing the wave out.
And which items?
Berserker Greaves.
Yep. So that's the spec you want to go for. When I asked you what do you want to base for, you said I want to base for Zerkers. Well, with this wave, guess what you get? You get Zerkers. You get Zerkers on the level 6 timer with Flash and Ghost against no Flash. And Vladimir either based, but even if he based and came back, well then like you're still in a kill position. Like unless he goes for tier 2 boots, he's not gonna go for tier 2 boosts, or even if he goes for tier 2 boosts, you still have Flash and Ghost. Or he didn't base, and then you just go and all in instant. And you could even Ghost from before even coming to the lane, because now the Ghost is 15 seconds and it's so long in the early game. So yeah, I think that would be like probably the best play. And also you could argue, yeah, but I didn't know where Kha'Zix was. I mean, you know that he's gonna come from bot set if he's gonna come. So by the way, you should be playing here. because
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious, right? You want to play to the opposite side of the jungler, so you should be standing here. And also you don't care about trading HP as long as you don't die, because you're gonna back anyway. So I think that would be a good play, and you would have noticed it if you are focused about proactively playing for. You don't need to E here, like he did his damage also. You are playing for your power spikes, and you are playing power spikes with items, with spells like your ult, and you're playing with your cannon waves. If you are doing this, you would by default just say, okay, now I'm push the wave, I base, and I get my tier 2 boots. And now Vladimir will be fucked. You could also make a play where you just, because here he wants to base, because he is probably conscious about the cannon wave situation. So he's like, okay, well now I crashed a normal wave and then I just back on a cannon wave. So I would actually like let him make the mistake of backing. I would not try to cancel his reset. I would just stay around here, and if he doesn't cancel the reset, I go in the bush and I reset. And this way the wave is frozen and he's fucked. And if it like cancels his reset, I mean, at that point, once we're in that situation, because I would have contested the wave before, if he cancels his reset, then maybe I ask for a Bel'Veth to come, and we go for an all-in when I get level 6 or something. But yeah, but now you're a bit stuck. You still end up getting the kill, because now he's in a really bad spot, because the mistake that he did was crashing the wave, but not crashing the wave. So he killed your minion wave, but he didn't bring it to your turret. He didn't escort it to your turret, which he should have done and he could have done. Yeah. So that's why, by the way, if you start like playing your waves correctly, you're gonna just have a flat advantage. Because even in low diamond, like people think that they have good wave management because they know how to freeze, etc. But actually, like there's like so much more to learn, so much more about it.
Yeah, I think I need to plan my waves ahead of time. That's something that I don't really do.
Oh yeah, completely. Like it has to become an obsession, you know? That's what you're playing for. Early game is waves, mid-late game it's objectives. That's it. That's how you play League of Legends, regardless the role. Like even for junglers, early game it's waves. It's not camps. Like good junglers would perma look at the waves and see that, oh, there is a slow push, I need to help him crush the wave. There's a freeze, I need to look for a gank. So it's the waves that dictate the game. So of course, if you're not planning at least 1 wave ahead, the game is gonna dictate itself for you. Still, because he messed up his own crash, the Vladimir, now you have the wave on your spot, and you see how here you're already ulting, you're halfway through your ulti, and now he W's, and you still manage to kill him. But later, you want him to W first and then go for the all-in when you still had your ult. So my point is, when we're gonna get there, like you could have just all-in him and kill him. The moment where you didn't ult, if you had the intention to just go for the kill, you could have went for the kill, basically. Anyway, still this kill is really good. The wave is in a good spot. We take those. Now the plan. Okay, now I'm asking you for a plan. So let's look at it again and let's try to make a plan again. Now we have this situation. Let's try to plan ahead of time. So now you have this wave, which was normal wave, this wave, which is a normal wave coming. You can look at the map, at the timers, and then you try to make a plan.
Okay. So I guess I would prioritize getting all of those minions, and then it looks like the enemy top is pushing in. Maybe I could make a play top after I push out mid.
So I will tell you what I'm seeing. Okay. So I'm thinking that right now I don't have my ult. There's a big ass wave coming. And there's like no objective on the map that we're playing for, because there's a Drake, but Bel'Veth is like on the opposite, like she couldn't be further from the Drake. So we're not playing for that Drake. But then there's a Herald at 27 seconds, and as we said in Champ Select, Bel'Veth wants to play for Heralds. Okay, but I'm not gonna have my ult right away for Herald. I'm gonna have my ult a bit after Herald. Interesting. So now I would see two options. It's either I would try to clear that wave, as fast as possible, like under my turret, of course, like, so I cannot go like too fast either, like I cannot just dash in those minions. I will clear that wave. The next wave, which is the cannon wave, I will try to hard push it, and then move towards Herald and look to help Belveth on Herald. And as we said, Darius is winning. I would have the push, so Vlad wouldn't be here, and Belveth has already a kill or something, so we should just get that Herald. The other play would be to slow push as slow as possible. So I just last hit. That way the next cannon wave will meet actually here, around here. Actually, that's the moment I can use Epic Pen. People told me to use Epic Pen, so I'm gonna use Epic Pen. Where is it? Okay, I'm not. Okay, it's here. So yeah, so if you look to slow push, the next cannon wave will meet around here, and then the wave after, which will be cannon plus normal wave, will meet around here. So you crash that one, and by that time you'll probably have your ult, or by that time then you go to Herald, you probably have your ult, and then you can impact, and Vladimir is stuck with the giga big wave. So I would do like either of those two plays, in my opinion. Because anyway, I know we're playing for that Herald for that top side, and I'm not playing for a gank top, I'm playing for that Herald, and then maybe a gank top or something. Now let's play it out and see what happens. So my point is, if you want to do the slow push, which I would have probably done, you need to let the turret like hit once more every time. Like let the turret hit here before you auto. Let the turret hit one more before you auto. Let the turret hit once more before you auto. That's if you want to do like the slow push. Because here you're already kind of hard pushing. But if you decide to hard push, actually, okay, it was not a cannon wave, but still, kind of the same thing happens, because you're gonna slow push that one and then crash the cannon wave here. Now, if you decide to hard push, well, you need to hard push, because now the Herald is spawning. But here you do an in between, so you push fast under turret, but here you push slow in the middle of the wave, like you're not hitting. So for me, it all means that, again, like you're not really having a plan. You're just like grabbing CS. When what I'm thinking about is what's the objective on the map, and what's my ult timer, and what are we playing for actually. So here my point is, like, if you're deciding on pushing Vex, this wave you should like instant dash through it, kill the caster first, kill the melees, go help Belveth. And that way actually, so now that we realize that the next one is a cannon wave, and Vladimir is gonna be stuck forever. Like you have a lot of time now. The time for Vladimir to clear that wave, and then to clear the whole cannon wave after it. And Vladimir doesn't have a lot of push early on. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Because now, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking here. I was like, I guess I was kind of reactive because I saw the Belveth like walking towards that bush. So I thought like maybe I still want to have the wave on my side. But I
But
guess
yeah,
that's not really a kill since I don't have my ult.
that's not a kill. That's not what's gonna win you the game. Like, would you rather have a Herald and Belveth that gives 300 plus the Herald, plus denies the Herald, plus give her like the form, like, or just an assist or a kill on Vladimir? And also, you cannot hold the wave on your side. It's too late. Like, it's gonna slow push anyway. So Vladimir, he doesn't even have to walk up. He just has to wait and last hit. So he's gonna stay here, and then he can just W. Like, there's no kill angle here. The wave is slow pushing to him already. What you wanna play for this Drake? So here, yeah, and now you realize it a bit later when you see Belveth actually going top. You use that E again, E out for nothing. You don't have any danger. I think that last E should be towards the Herald, because now you E this way and you walk this way. And now we're playing for Herald, which is good. And now we get the Herald. And by the way, again in the reaction, like, okay, we killed, we got the Herald. Perfect, you did your job. Plus this is a cannon wave pushing to you. You just walk here, you just base. Like TRYNDAMERE 1 HP, no Q, no E. Like even a W kills you here, like a W auto. Like there's no point in staying. Like Actually, so it's actually something when I think about it. When I was younger in my League of Legends journey, I used to think that being a challenger player would mean like outspacing everything, taking every play, playing it perfect, like just getting out of his range, and then I dash in at the last moment, or I flash out of vision. And but actually, being a challenger is like just realizing that we won the play, taking your base because you have a good timer, and walking back on the map and being patient and just not doing anything, not flipping your plays here. And I mean, like, he's like, yeah, this whole situation, like, like even if you know that he does, like, it doesn't achieve anything, and then Vladimir is still here with full HP, like even if it's not Kha'Zix that kills you here, it's Vladimir that kills you here at some point. Like, just go base. You won the play, you won the Herald, you got the kill, it's 1-for-1. Just go back and take the win, you know. And here actually we have a bad wave because we hesitated so much in pushing, and because yeah, we don't crash the wave correctly, and now you have a terrible wave. Vladimir is a nice person, he actually fixes it for you, but you could get like pretty hard punished for that, because then like if Nautilus comes or if Thresh comes and Kha'Zix, like you cannot fix the wave, you're fucked. Does it make sense all I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see, for example, now we're in that situation. So what should we play for? What would be plays to play for?
There's no objectives up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my alt. So I was thinking of just like following whatever like play my jungler would do at this point,
But
since they were like pretty far ahead.
mm-hmm. But you see the mentality. You're already telling me that you want to follow whatever play he's gonna make.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can see it that way. So you're getting a coaching right now, so it means that you're at, like, you want to get better, and eventually you're gonna get better. Like, the first step to getting better is wanting to get better. It doesn't just happen. So you're gonna get better. By getting better, you're gonna be able to win more games. So you're gonna get more MMR. So you're gonna get more elo. So you're not gonna play with these guys anymore. So wait, let these guys dictate for you how you're supposed to play the game, when you're actually like working towards having more knowledge than them and actually knowing what the right plays is. If these guys know what the right plays were, they would not be in your game, you know. So
Yeah.
I think that could be one way of thinking about it, and taking responsibility that yeah, like if these guys knew, they wouldn't be here. And when you would know, you won't be there anymore either. So you need to start looking to know, and in order to know, you need to learn, and in order to learn, you need to test and learn. You need to make the decisions. You need to think for yourself, and you need not to be reactive. So here I will tell you what I'm seeing. I'm saying that yes, we have no ulti. We have a Tiamat, so now we have a lot of push that Vladimir doesn't have. We have a Tiamat, we have no ulti, we have a Fed Belveth, and we have no objective for a long time. So when you have these kinds of states, whether it's in early game or in mid game or in late game, it's kind of states where it's kind of a vision war, like an information war. It's kind of a pick war. We're gonna look to make picks, and then you still have sort of objectives on the map, which are blue buff and red buff. And also, it's the moment where people play to get gold, to farm onto their next item. So when the objectives spawn, they have their spikes. We're gonna play for our spikes, and they will try to save their flashes and their ghosts, etc. So they have them for the objective. Like, I don't know if you watch some pro play ever or not really.
Not really. I watch LEC sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of just on the side. I don't really like pay close attention to it.
Okay, well, just yeah, that's kind of what happens in these situations. Like, they will just, it will just be a vision war. It will be like a pick. Like, they will try to make picks with Nautilus, with Thresh, etc. And they will try to play for their power space and not invest too much. So here for me, you can perma have the push. The only issue is like Vladimir like empowered Q, but here for example, like I would be like just even walking. Like you can save your E if you're concerned about Kha'Zix. But Kha'Zix is not scary at that point because you have your wave, and if you're not isolated, like if you play in your wave, when you think about it, Vladimir cannot hit E's, and Kha'Zix cannot hit empowered Qs. So you're not really in danger here. And you have a flash and ghost if needed, but it's not even needed. So for example, like I would be even walking up, hitting those casters, eating into my melees. I would one shot that wave. I wouldn't be like scared of anything. And then at the end of the wave, I could just press Q, and you would have lost like 100 HP to get the push, for example. Like, does it sound like not true or stupid what I'm saying, or do you think it is right that with Tiamat and full HP for Fury Tryndamere you can just get the push? Or does it sound risky? Or
Yeah, that's true.
okay, that's why we're playing
I think,
Tiamat, by the way.
yeah, sometimes I play like too passive or scared, I feel like.
So I mean, it needs to be like according to who the enemy champions are. And you see, like whenever you're not scared, look at what Vladimir is doing. He's trading auto attacks with you. But because it took you a long time to realize that you can just go for the push. Well, you gave him an empowered Q. Like the only issue with Vladimir in lane is his empowered Qs. That's what you need to be careful of, and not give him. And now you can just get the push just like that. And now it's all about in mid lane. It's like pushing and doing something. You push, you go for a ward. You push, you go for a camp. You push, you go for a reset. You push, you go for a roam. You push, you do something. And sometimes actually something that you can do is like you push and you go out of vision. And you don't even walk to bot. So in certain situations where you're concerned of being caught up by the jungler or something, and you don't want to face check, you can just get the push, get out of vision, and then you will see that the enemy mid laner, he doesn't know where you are, so he'll ping to his team like to be careful. And now the enemy team, even if they have vision in the river or anything, they wouldn't know if you're basing, if you're rotating but you're just not walking on the wards, like you create so much uncertainty. But here I think that if you have two wards, you should look to probably push and look for vision, for example. It's okay not to do it right now because you don't have your ult. But you see, like you're a bit late, so now you go for it.
And I had like no idea where I should be like putting a ward.
Okay, so for the ward situation, it's pretty straightforward. Are we playing like defensive? Like, are we afraid of enemy team making a play, or are we playing like proactive and are we like looking to make plays? Well, here you tell me that your Bel'Veth, she's 3-0, she has a Kraken Slayer. You're telling me I'm gonna play wherever Bel'Veth is playing. So Bel'Veth is playing towards top side, so that ward on top side is really good. I really like it. But the thing is, you need to think about it right now. You need to think about, like, you know, the then what situation. Like, while pushing this wave, I'll be like, then what? Well, maybe Bel'Veth is looking to make a play bot or to invade the bot jungle. So I would actually maybe drop a ping to invade, like, this red buff. So Nautilus and Bel'Veth and you can just get the mid prio and go invade the bot jungle and get everything. Or I'll be like, by the time I would have crashed this, if Bel'Veth is going towards her top side, well, then I would help her towards top side and probably get some vision. Then what? Because if you ask yourself, then what? Once this happens, well, you don't have to think, okay, now what? Like, basically, in League, you're supposed to never ask yourself, now what? Because you would have asked yourself, then what before, if it makes sense. So that's going to be really important, because now we have this situation where you're like, okay, I push the wave, I have a bit of time. Oh, Bel'Veth is top. This is spawning. Okay, maybe a ward top can be good. And now we're moving when the wave is actually respawning. Because if you did everything faster, instant push, instant ward, instant came back, by the time this wave comes, you would be here to hit it. And then you will be able to push one and do something, which will be maybe go with Darius and Bel'Veth on that scuttle, maybe go for a dive top because you have a slow push and now you have your ulti, something like that, you know? But here you're like one wave late already. And now Vladimir actually gets the push. So now for me, you're supposed to press Q now, instant, and then demolish that next wave, like instant clear it, and play towards top side, because now there's a play being made top, and now you have your ult and your flash and your ghost. And you don't really want to go for a dive on Vladimir because you don't know where Kha'Zix is yet.
Yeah.
So again, I think you should be not trading the guy. You should be focusing on the wave and then looking to do something with it. Here we focus on the wave. We move a bit towards bot. We see that nothing is happening bot. Now we see that something is happening top, and now we're starting to move top when we could have had that plan a minute ago, basically.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that you will be able like to replicate in your further games, or like do you need like more information about it to be able to see the patterns? I mean, you're not gonna do it perfectly for next game, that's for sure, but at least like you need to focus on it.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to think like a little bit ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I was just very indecisive this game.
Yeah.
I just wasn't like really committing to anything.
Hmm. Yep. And was it only this game? That's really the question that I want to figure out. You know, like if it's really only that game or if it's a general issue. So here my point, yeah, like you can go further. Like his pull is only like 2 seconds. You still have like 3 seconds of TPS. Plus it costs him HP. Plus you still have flash and ghost. So yeah, I think it would have been a kill angle. But actually, like it ends up being close because of all the HP you traded, and you traded HP because you gave him like or okay, he killed here because of the empowered Qs you gave him, etc. So and yeah, I'm gonna call it like fait de jeu, like we say in French. Like it's not, it just like it just happened, like shit happens, but it's not like the big mistake. Like the idea was decent, just got surprised by the burst. Okay. Now this happened. So here, for example, I'm happy that you realize that, okay, we're going for plating. Now it's risky. Now this play is bad. And okay, that's really nice. But now when Darius is pinking, it's 3 of us against 4 of them. Samira is bot, Belvet is dead, and we don't know where the 5th is. So it's like potential 3v5 or at least 3v4. And
Yeah,
my point is ping back the Darius. You have Tiamat. The goal is not to let them like take that turret for free. So your ability should be used to clear that wave, and you could like use your ult to clear that wave. It's fine. And by that time, like Samira would just get platings, and then your team is just winning on the map. This is actually winning. Like it's never good to ARAM. It's only good to ARAM when when the enemy team is actually like playing the ARAM game. And now,
yeah, we should have just instantly backed up when the Belveth died.
yeah, and then once you ult, okay, that's the kind of moments you can go for. Now what? It's like, what are we playing for here? Like Drake cannot really get it. Above is dead. We're not playing to kill them all. Like just defend that wave, and maybe once you ult, like you can suicide for that wave. Like that would be the right play, in my opinion. Like either way, even if I called like Darius not to come, etc. At the end of the day, I would have stayed here to suicide for the wave, because that, or press ult for the wave. That way they don't get platings, we get platings bots, we get Urgot TP, it's really good. Or we don't get Urgot TP because Darius would have not come. But yeah, that's what we were playing for. And now they get all the platings. Okay, we clear. It's really good to go bot here. The trick has been taken. The next objective is going to be top. So we're putting ourselves bot for the next objective. We wait for Kha'Zix to actually base, wait for information, clear those. Okay, right now, again, I think most of the time when you're clearing a wave and you don't really have info on the rest of their team, I think you should keep your E's backwards. Should I clear those guys and then E backwards? So you, when you finish your clear while you are standing here and not here, so you have a bit of extra distance to be safe. It's a good general principle. And here you have your Hydra, right? You have the gold for Hydra, no? I think you should just base, because you created the pressure already. Someone is gonna match you most likely, and that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to create pressure for the Herald. That's why you're splitting, and you did. You created pressure. Someone is matching you. And now we get Herald, and you're not like you don't have demolish, and see you just walk in, walk back, and
Yeah,
pretty
so
much do nothing.
wasted time.
So just like when we could have like just taken that wave and played for Berserker Greaves, here you can take that wave and play for Hydra. You did your job. You played pressure, we got Herald, we got bot turret, we pinned someone. Now you can just base and go back with an item. Probably the same, because here you had so much time, so most likely you could have thought about it here actually. And that's why I actually told you, I tell you, okay, right now we have nothing crazy going on, so can we like start to make a plan for the next few minutes? That would be a good plan. Okay, so we stay in, so we just gonna get golems. Now we push this wave, which doesn't achieve anything. It actually gives them a freeze and it makes you lose the next wave. And now we buy Hydra, and now we have a bit of extra golds.
Yeah.
And now we actually lose that wave as well.
I took too long to shop there because I thought a hull breaker would be like at the bottom of the shop and I could like click on it quickly, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
okay.
didn't see it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't take it into account, because on the rest of your bases you are going pretty fast, so I knew like it was like a one-time mistake, you know. But now I have an issue. Is again, like when you were backing, you could have already thought. Even when we cleared the wave and we had the gold for Hydra, you could think, okay, what would be the next objective then? And it's Drake, and I helped Herald by going bot, so I would help Drake by going top. So where are we going bot here?
Oh, I guess like I thought like the Drake was pretty far off, so I could eventually make my way back up to top, but I should have just like ran top.
Yeah, you actually you want to be top prior to the objectives, and you're never gonna be too early on the opposite side of the map, but you can be too late. Because yeah, like if you push a few ways, well, first the thing is you're gonna send Darius, because look at Darius POV now. Where is he gonna go on the map? So now you're making it super complicated, because you want to push a few waves bot and then back and go top, where Darius understands the assignments and then goes back and goes bot. Like it's very complicated.
I forced him to go top.
Yeah, and you force him to go top, and now you don't want to go top anymore because Darius is top. But he's top because you send him top. And what it's gonna do, I mean, we get that turret because Bella has Kraken. She could have gotten that turret with Darius, by the way, it didn't change much. And now we die, and we use flash and ult prior to the objective. You know what I thought? Oh, by the way, you tell me at what point you realize that you don't want to fight here. You tell me at what point you realize like you don't want to fight.
Okay. I would say right there after I just got chunked.
Okay, so every single click should be towards your turret or safe place. Every single one.
Yeah, this another indecisive play. I thought maybe I could change the outcome of that fight if I like was there. But
As TRYNDAMERE,
I'm already pretty low, so I'd have to like ult instantly. But yeah.
and now we flash and ult. And you remember what I talked about, like using the big cooldowns before the objectives. Now you have neither flash and ult to apply pressure on the opposite side of the map of the Drake. And now you're gonna be too late also on the map for the Drake, because here you don't have the time to go top. So now you're forced to go either bot or mid.
Yeah, I also I saw the Urgot teleporting, but I had like no idea where he was teleporting to.
And I mean, he teleported because you stayed so long. Like he wouldn't have teleported only for Bel'Veth, I think. Teleported because he saw you like staying around that fight. So
Yeah, he saw 2 free kills instead of 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now we are going there, so which is fine, like realizing like, okay, we cannot help on that Drake. I feel like at that point, like with the situation of the game, you're not supposed to win team fights, and you're actually not going to end up winning this team fight. But you have a chance of making a hold up here and taking that Drake when you're not supposed to. So my point is, I would let Nautilus prevent Kha'Zix from coming, because it's Nautilus and he has ult, etc. And I would just DPS the Drake with my Bel'Veth, and then we get the Drake. and then I would just look to live, So you could say, yeah, but look at me, I end up like getting a 1k shutdown on Ashe, but I think it's more their mistake than your than your good thing,
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, we were playing for the objective. So what's the best way of playing for the objective? I mean, if at the moment you are thinking that the best way to get that Drake for your team is to go crazy, and maybe you are going on the Kha'Zix first, actually, or I don't know. Like, at least if it was the intention, I'm fine with it. It's a good play. If you are just thinking, okay, we should fight it, we might win that fight, well, you don't. Like, at that point of the game, like the 4v4, like, you're so behind. All of you guys, you're working towards Kraken, and I don't think you even checked items, but you're behind in items, you're behind in levels, you're behind in everything. So making a hold up and getting that Drake is already like a big win. So that's what we should be preparing for. So that's my whole point. If it was the thinking that this is gonna get us the Drake, I'm happy. If the thinking was this is gonna win us the fight and I don't really care about the Drake, I'm not happy.
Okay, I was kind of thinking of like helping to zone the Kha'Zix away
Okay, then I'm fine.
so
Then
that
I'm fine.
he wouldn't like jump in and try to like smite steal.
Okay, then I'm fine. So my point is like Tryndamere doesn't do that. For like the long term, like it happens to me, it still happens to me sometimes. Like we're doing Nash, and then the jungler is behind the pit, and then I dash on the jungler to try like to zone him, but then he just ignores me and dashes in because I have 0 CC. Like I cannot do shit. I cannot like just zone him. He just like ignores me. See, like if it's a Kayn, he goes through the wall. If it's a Shiva Nash, she jumps in. If it's an Evelyn, she ults in. Like they don't really give a shit unless the objective is still very healthy and you can like try to kill them from 100% HP. But Nautilus can do that. Everything that has a CC then can do that. So as a general idea, like it's gonna happen in the future. It still happens to me that you're gonna look to zone the jungler, and then the jungler is just gonna ignore you basically. Here, so again, thinking prior. So here you wanna play for the Nash. So at any time we see a Nash opportunity, we should go for it instant. And now the smite is gone, and Bel'Veth is on the map. I think this is instant Nash, no question asked.
Okay, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just like a lack of knowledge from me because I didn't know that Bel'Veth was like fast at taking Nash.
Okay, so I didn't like. It's not something that I know someone taught me. Just that I'm thinking about it. Kraken is really good for like to hit multiple autos on the target, and Bel'Veth, her whole kit is getting attack speed. Like she gets stacks and she gets attack speed scaling, and so it means that the attack speed plus the Kraken means that she's gonna get a ton of Kraken procs. So I just think it does Nash fast. Like it's not like I even like witnessed and observed about it. I'm just guessing it, but I don't think it's wrong. Like it's a ton of attack speed and Kraken procs, and she has W to get to tank if she needs sometimes, and so yeah. And then it still can maybe not work if Urgot goes to defend, etc. But at this point, because you're so behind in the game, you need to take every opportunity. Like the Nash gives you like plus its objective shutdowns. Kraken Borg. This demolishes Nash. And then you have to think about like, but does like Kha'Zix have the time to come from base, etc. And okay, maybe it's lack of knowledge. Well, just keep that in mind. Like, Bel'Veth does Nash really quick. That's it. Some champions like Kai'Sa, Kalista, like when you have them, you should just go Nash. And the other thing that, especially even if you're not sure about it, if your jungler is pinging it or walking towards it, you should be going with him. It's fine to get mid prio. Like no, actually, it's not because now it's too late. It's okay though for now with your actual amount of knowledge. I would say okay, but and now we're going too late. But you will need to be able to recognize those in the future. So some champions are just like really fast Nash takers, and you just need to think about their kit. For example, Kha'Zix takes Nash really fast because Kha'Zix's Q deals more damage to isolated targets, and Nash is an isolated target. I don't know what Kaisa, Vayne, because they have their passive insta procking. Kalista because she gets her passive and she can smite it. Nunu because of his Q. Like some champions, you just think about their kit and then you just know that they do a fast Nash. Ash, if she has a Kraken, she's gonna do a fast Nash because it's Kraken procs. And now we missed the opportunity, and then of course they can do Nash. Like we knew that prior to the Nash because they were so ahead, you know. So yeah, when they're ahead, like you need to look for opportunities to come back, and then at that point, I think we should just be playing for the wave and not for the fight. Like they cannot end without a wave, and we're not supposed to win fights again because they're so ahead in levels, items, experience. So I think like as TRYNDAMERE, you should go crazy for that wave, and that way. So it's either you let your team try to defend that wave and then you even go around and you proxy that next wave that's coming, or you just go crazy for that wave and you hope that your team defends the next one. But that's the best you can do to hold the game. It's like just play the wave, basically. Okay, so that's it for this game review. So did that bring any question on this game or on the game in particular?
Or
in general?
I can't think of any like questions right now because that's like a lot of information to think about.
Yeah. It is. I'm not gonna. I told you, like, because like it was a bit of everything. So I kind of like gave you the big toolbox, and I'm fine if you just like remember like 2 or 3 concepts out of the 5 or 6 we talked about, and it's gonna be good enough. I'm even gonna add a 7th one. Sorry about that, but I feel like it's never bad, you know, to give you like information. Also, I'm gonna post the coaching on YouTube so you can go back on it and get value over time. I think it's around here. First, like overall, like that's an overall idea. It's like I don't see you pressing tab enough and long enough and actually taking information from it. I don't feel like you're aware of the items in the game, the power specs, the things like that. Maybe you are, but I didn't see you press tab long enough, actually.
Oh, you're right. Like a lot of times when I press tab, I look really quick, but I don't really like process the information. And the same thing happens when I like pan my camera. I'll like see something, but I don't like fully process it or I don't like think about it.
Okay, I mean you're doing first step at least. Now, like the general idea I can give you is, you know, it's kind of like I'm not gonna tell you press tab more and take information. One general idea that you can get is whenever you're gonna interact with the champion, press tab then and look at what he has. And if you're gonna interact with 2 champions, you look at what they have, etc. And that will be good enough. Of course, like the end goal is like to be aware of what's happening. But for now, it's gonna be good enough to just press tab whenever you're gonna interact with someone. That's it. Someone shows on your screen. Vladimir comes back from base, you press tab. That way you know if he has tier 2 boost to match your movement speed. If he doesn't match your movement speed, for example, this matters in the early game, etc. Now, here at that point, I ask you, as a team, what do you think would be your way of coming back and winning the game? And you found one win condition, which will be the split, through splitting. So your team just holding on the rest of the map, and then you just applying pressure and just splitting, basically. Can you try to find other ways, other solutions to make your way back in the game and look to win it?
Yeah, I see the enemy team has like 3 pretty large shutdowns. We could try to like pick one of those players off.
Okay, that could be a win condition. So it will accelerate your items and maybe make you able to win some team fights. Maybe because you're still full AD. But okay, that would be one. Any other thing you're seeing?
Well, I remember Vlad was like the one that was like matching me in side lanes, so I could like pressure and flank, and maybe we could win a 5v4.
Okay, really good. Vlad has no mobility. You're way faster on the map. He has no TP, so that's very great. If you pin Vlad, you can just pin him on side lane and then play a 5v4. Okay, I mean that's already, so you found two more ways to win the game, so it's still pretty encouraging. Yes, shutdowns for sure are one. Plus you have the objective shutdowns. Plus you take Herald, which is an objective shutdown. Plus gives you objective shutdowns with the Herald, and 3 shutdowns on Kha'Zix, Vladimir, and Ashe. Ashe, which is like pretty easy to get. Okay, that's good. Now I'm seeing also, yes, of course, the split. So I feel like if they send Urgot, I can just ignore him and deal like damage to the turret. And by the way, if you like splitting a lot, have you ever considered like going demolish in your runes, even in mid lane?
Oh, yeah, I have gone demolish, but I think I forgot to like change my
Oh, okay.
runes.
Yeah, I feel like in quote unquote easy matchups, or at least like matchups where you can get out of the laning phase without having to have a revitalize and second wind, or revitalize and flinching, you can afford to go demolish. Like Vlad, because like early on he's not a threat. I think you can afford to go demolish. So if it's only that you, yeah, just throwing it out there. And then one last way to come back for me would be, well, I have Nautilus, and I have Belveth and Darius, so like they cannot face check us, you know. So if we manage to get like vision, we can look for a pick pretty easily. Like Kha'Zix is very, like, even if he has Starboys and armor, because he noticed that you are full AD, he's still one-shotable so far. So that could be also one way. So to be ahead of them where like, they're gonna path and clear vision and look for a pick, and that would be like our options, and then we should play for these options basically. Okay, now you tell me, Alex, do you want to go through the VOD of another game, or was this enough information and you're gonna work on that?
Um, I think it would be good to go through the
Hmm?
other VOD, see if I was like making
The same
similar
mistake.
mistakes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So give me a second. I just need to go on my NA account. This is NA account. Can you send me your? Oh, I have it. It's Sigma Trinda, right? Your in-game
Yeah.
name. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Up, up. So that will be the first game of the season you played, which is that one.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking what time it is. Okay, we have time.
Can
I
I run
just
to the restroom real quick?
sorry, what?
Can I run to the restroom real
Oh,
quick?
I was gonna go as well. That's what I was gonna say. Okay,
Oh,
see you in a minute.
all right, I'll be back.
Yeah, same.
Alright, I'm back. Hello?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, cool.
Nice. You are faster than me. Up, up. So let's see this game. Up, up. Okay, let me try you. Let's look at the compass again and let me see how you can look to do the thinking.
Okay. Um, hmm. So with Belveth versus Gled, I've never really seen Belveth top, but I think Kled would win early since he has Ignite. And I think for the jungle matchup, Kha'Zix is stronger early. I'm not really too sure about that one. And then for bot lane, uh, hmm. I'm not too familiar with Yasuo bot lane, but I think that our bot lane is stronger until Yasuo has level 6.
Okay, and the mid matchup?
Um, I think mid matchup is good for me if I can get a kill on Ari before level 6, or if I hit 6 before her and instantly all in before she ults.
Okay, and then regarding like a random like 5v5, like 13, 14 minutes for Drake, like how do you think it's gonna play out? What do you think
Hmm.
are like the win cons?
I think it's definitely pretty tough if Alistar gets a big knock up.
Mm-hmm.
Have like pretty good engage on their team with Kled and Ari and Alistar. Um, but I think the fight's in our favor if Lilia can get like a good ultimate, or if Nautilus could get like a pick on someone.
Okay, really good. I mean, that's about it. Like, I don't have much more to say. I'm actually like not sure either like who wins the 1v1 in Lilia Kha'Zix. I think they cannot kill each other. Kha'Zix can just jump out and Lilia can just like movement speed out. They're both scaling. Top is scaling. I would be a bit concerned about my top lane. Yes, because it's Ignite Kled. Then I would be like, okay, she can still be safe if she doesn't want to die because she has multiple dashes. We're gonna see how it plays out. Harry is pretty vulnerable early on, but we don't really have a jungler that can punish her. But if we can look for kills, it's gonna be press 6. After 6, like she's just unkillable. And then our bot lane is looking way better overall than Yasuo Alistar, which is very, very short range. But after level 6, like if they get a good knocked up, we can get an ulti. Their win condition is Eclipse Engage and Yasuo bot, and our win condition is Nautilus and Lilia. You said it all. Like I don't have anything else to say. So that's amazing. Now you need to do it actively. Like you need to do it, the thinking, because it's gonna matter. Everything like you think of before the game starts, you won't have to think of it when the game has started. Now, let's do the same thing and translate it, all that information, and now use it for the very first play we're gonna make in the game, which is gonna be what? Before the waves even come, what should we be doing? Should we get vision in their jungle? Should we...
I think we should invade since we have Nautilus.
Let's go. Let's see how it plays out. And up.
Oh, I remember what happens here. It's pretty bad.
Okay. Well, first, like you see all the information and we decide that we should invade. It's your first game of the season and you're already late for the first play of the season. So yeah, that's what I mean by being like being the leader. You know, you should be pinging. You should be the first one there. You should be walking right behind Nautilus, and not not just being there and giving that first blood. So okay, so I'm happy. It's still like it means that we're in the same category of issues. You know, so far at least. Okay, and now second thing of the game, it's gonna be jungle tracking. So let's see, you're into Ahari, you see that Lilia is starting top, we're Tryndamere mid, so we dash in on CD, etc. Are we gonna keep the wave on our side to be able to have, or not on our side, but like slow push it, so we get another dash in here, dash auto. Okay, it didn't hit, but the idea is still good. And now because we didn't push the wave as hard, I mean, yeah, you still hit way too many auto attacks. And it's fine to do this. This is a really good word, by the way. It's fine to do this if now you want the wave like pushing back to you, basically. Because now, even if she doesn't get her level 2 from the first blood, etc., she's gonna get the level 2 first because her wave is gonna hit first and she's gonna be able to hit. And so it's fine only if you want to get pushed in. If you are just planning on, as I said, like keep trading her, you should stop hitting the wave as much. You're hitting the wave way too much. Because now like also like it crashes, but Ari could have held that wave if she wanted to, like at least for a bit, you know. Just like Vlad did, you know.
I actually had like an intention with pushing that wave to get the ward.
Okay, then I'm fine because we don't have information on Kha'Zix. So now we're looking for so this is really good. All I want you to have for your games, all I'm looking for is intention. That's the word. Like you're doing something for a reason and not just doing it, you know? So if you had an intention, I'm really happy. Now we get our Q. Now the wave is pushing to us and we still don't have info on Kha'Zix. I mean, we can have info on Kha'Zix though. So now we have info on Kha'Zix actually. Where do you think he would be?
I think he's on the wolves.
Okay. Okay. I would say, so at least we know for a fact he's not doing a full clear top. If he was doing a full clear top, like he would be already there by that time. So now for me, we have two options. It's either like he went into red buff, from red buff straight into his bot side, and went from his bot side straight into his red buff. That's what I would think. I wouldn't be sure about it still. And that's what he did. Bot side straight into red buff.
Okay.
The only thing this gives you is that he's not on Raptors. It doesn't tell you for sure where he is on the map. But yeah, we know that he didn't do full clear top. That's the only information. So actually, that's the only place he wouldn't be wolves, because after full clear top, he's gonna go on wolves most likely, or at least his blue buff. So yeah, that's how I would interpret that information, at least. Like, he's not full clearing top.
Okay.
Okay. So now the wave is pushing to us, which is fine because we still don't have like exact info on Kha'Zix. We can try to contest the push, but it's kinda normal if she ends up like getting it at this point. You should try not to position yourself in your minion so she doesn't get a Q that hits both you and the minion in this matchup. A bit of matchup specificity. Okay, I really like that freeze. I really like that freeze. And now you know that both, like, you know that Lilia is bot, and you know that they know that Lilia is bot. And that's important, like, knowing that they know that they have information, you know? So now we're holding, and we should be concerned about Kha'Zix, because Lilia is bot, and there is a fight, and we didn't see Kha'Zix. So he can still be bot, but most likely he's, like, on the opposite side of the map. So I think you should be standing a bit more, like, bot side, so he doesn't, like, jump from here on you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because we're Tryndamere, you see how many bad trades you took, but it doesn't matter because she has no mana now, and she's in a bad spot, and you're just gonna take her TP for nothing. I think you might go too early here if you're going, because we don't know where Kha'Zix is. He could be doing this scuttle going into bot side, and he could be standing in that bush. If you're going, maybe you're not. You're going. Okay, I wouldn't go here. Also, yeah, she can just flash out, and now you can just die from Kha'Zix. I don't think this is a good play.
Yeah,
No
that my
shit.
wave's bad.
No shit. Well, I didn't see that coming. Okay, they don't kill you because they misplay it, but yeah. And now you have a pretty bad wave. Okay, so yeah, on that going is basically like, yeah, jungle tracking. Like, if you don't know, basically, like, you cannot go wrong if when you don't know where the jungler is, you just consider that he's sitting in the bush, or he's just like right there, you know. And then if you had info on Kha'Zix going top, well, then now you can go for an all-in. But here, like, a better Kha'Zix would have like pulled his scuttle towards bot because he had no play to do top, so he had only a play to do mid, and so he would pull the scuttle here, and he would instant jump in on you when you would have engaged. And now we have a bad wave, and she fixes it for you. Thank you so much, Ari. Again, shows that if you start playing the wave right, you will have like just a flat advantage on them because they're not playing them right. Okay, well, now you can't have the prio, like, nothing I'm expecting from you here. Now you see that Ari... Okay, just push. Okay, that's not the fastest way to push. Actually, I'm gonna do my short video. So how should you be pushing that wave? Now, looking back at it. Fastest way to push that wave.
Auto the melees a few times each and then spin through?
No, it's not. Really important, because it works on every single champion. Fastest way to push a wave when your wave is matching like that is hit that melee until he's in kill range with an E. And even if you don't get your E, like, kill that melee during that time, like the time these minions come, kill the casters first, and then go on to the melees. Three reasons for that. Casters deal more damage, so of course when you're crashing, you want your wave to pin Ari as long as possible, so you want your wave to be as healthy as possible. Second reason, casters are the squishiest. See the HP, 300, 500. So now the minions that deal the most damage are also the ones that die the fastest. And now reason 3, look at what happens when you kill melees. Here, for example, that minion, he went and moved all the way to hit that melee, but now you kill that melee, and now he's moving, and now he's going into the casters, and during that whole time he's not hitting. Look at those minions hitting this melee. Well, now they're not hitting anything, and this guy is running. And now look at these minions. Now they hit the melee, and now they start moving, and now you don't have the nice crash. So whenever you're killing the caster first, you're giving time for your minions to DPS as much as possible and to keep hitting the melees, and then you can just finish them off. So it's 3 reasons why it's fastest to just go for the casters first.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Okay, well, nice. Yeah, I realized that during my coaching, I'm actually like, I'm gonna do content about it because it's super important.
Yeah.
And then that's what I said into Vladimir also when you had Tiamat attacks. Just auto, E back in your minions and then finish the melee off fastest way.
Okay.
Okay, well now she has her ult, so she can just... Oh, she used it? Oh, if she used it, it's actually fine to go for an all-in.
Okay, I saw that it was down from her roam. So.
Yeah, okay. The W didn't hit. So we have to wait for next W, or yeah, we don't. Yeah, I mean, it's W diff. Like, if the W hit earlier, it would have been a kill. I mean, it's fine. The idea is right. Like, if she has like no ult and you're seeing an opportunity, it was a bit of a misexecution. But do you see another way of just winning your mid lane here?
I think the wave was pushing to me. I could have just froze and farmed.
I would just say like, out sustain her mana bar. That's the answer I would go for.
Oh, okay.
That's often the win condition as Tryndamere, to just like out sustain their mana bar. And this way you would have forced her to TP, but here she can actually save TP. And now she still has her TP. Okay, now let's see. Lilia is playing topside, right? And she's being pretty deep. So I would be looking to have the wave in a good spot, which is already the case. I will be looking at the nature of my next wave. And I will be looking to play like around my Lilia. I would be okay with sacking those CS if something would happen important at that Herald, because Herald matters a lot. Again, we have a Bel'Veth topside. So again, doing as much as your opponent with less, because here you have less items, less XP, less everything, less prio. But if you pin her mid, or if she stays mid, it's already winning. Like, you don't have much more to do than that. Because your bot lane is there now. Bel'Veth got her form and the Herald. This is really good. Now she's moving. You cannot really match her impact right now. So we're pushing that wave. Doing sort of casters first, which is fine. Do you have the call to buy something? Okay. I mean, I don't know if I would go for the plating here, because I don't think you can get the plating. I don't think you will get the plating. She can just like extend the waves. But I'm seeing that the play is happening bot. So for me, it's either like you look for a base, but it's not the base, or maybe you look for a bot play, because now you see that Lilia and Nautilus, like if you go bot, it's a 4v2 basically. And I think you have your ult back, and you can even dive, even if they respect, like you can make a big play happen bot side. Plus she has a Herald, so even if you give a crush to Ari, you can take a ton here. Like, you can take a whole lot. And now let's see how far behind we could have seen that coming. Well, again, it's when you're pushing that wave, you should ask yourself, what then? And then, okay, maybe a plating if she's not coming, if Ari is not coming. But now, boom, you see Ari on that ward. So now it's maybe not a plating angle.
Yeah.
Unless you had Demolish. If you had Demolish, it was a plating angle, but you don't have Demolish. So now, okay, what else can I do? Well, it's not a cannon wave, so I probably don't want to reset. Okay, what else can I do? Well, I have wards, or I have a ward, or maybe not. 3. Wait. So that, okay, you don't have a ward. But maybe now you see that Nautilus and Lilia are going bot, and you have Lilia ult, and you have Nautilus hook, and you have you. So I would go for bot here. I would go for bot play. So here what happens is exactly, yeah, not getting a plating. And even like you could like walk toward bots and then they're respected and then there's no play to do. But at least you would create like uncertainty, and if they would stay, you would get that big play. Now we're staying. So now what I'm expecting you to do is clear that wave as fast as possible and go for a reset probably on the cannon wave. So you can kind of match our items. Yeah, I don't think this is good. I think... I mean, she messed up. She didn't even make you use ult. But I don't think the idea was good. I think here you just base, you buy a pickaxe, and you come back with your pickaxe, and now you have an item advantage by the time she has to crash this wave. And then you can either call for Lilia to come, or you can just stay with an item advantage and force her to TP because you backed on a cannon wave. But if she didn't back, then the next wave you have to crash is not a cannon wave, and then she's forced to TP. But here you never like put her in a situation where the wave is winning for you and she has to TP actually.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why I fought her.
It ended up working because yeah, she messed up like pretty big time, like not making you use ult in that situation. So we're fine with it. I would be a bit concerned, just a bit concerned about Kha'Zix, and now I wouldn't participate in that. No, you don't want to participate in that. Tryndamere with 600 HP, no ult, no flash, no ghost, and Ahri is gonna come back with a TP. So, and you have 1700 gold. You don't want to mess up your tempo. I wouldn't participate in that. Yeah, I mean, yes, so you hit Alistar, you hit the Drake, but you did nothing. Like, there's nothing that you did that wouldn't happen if you weren't there. And Ahri just didn't TP again. I don't know why, but if Ahri TP, like, you will lose that whole wave. But you see what I'm saying? Like yeah, we have nothing. We have a ton of gold. We have a wave that we're supposed to be losing because Ahri can TP. And you still like give a plating from that. Okay.
Yeah, then I miss all those CS anyway.
Yeah. Okay, now we clear the wave, and now it's clearing the wave and do something. I don't think... Okay, it's fine to go there. Because you saw this game being low.
Shutdown, so.
Yeah, he has a shutdown and he was low. And then we can send Bel'Veth mid, and you can defend that top, and you defend the turret. This is really fine. Okay, really nice. Bel'Veth should have went mid. I mean, it's on her, it's not on you. Okay, she ends up going mid. So you see, at the end, like, the other players are gonna adapt to the right place. Just like, maybe it's gonna take a bit longer, but they're gonna end up adapting. Okay, that's really nice. That's a really nice play. I really like that. Now, where are we going on the map? Up, up, up. Objective timers. Drake in 246. Herald in 1 minute. So we kind of want to play for that Herald. Bel'Veth wants to play for that Herald. So I would say just keep mid prio, keep pressure mid because we have Hydra. And then just look to play for the Herald. And if Lilia is not playing top side, then we're going to play bot side. But that's not really what we want. I would be picking Herald like just a few times, you know. So everyone knows that that's what we're playing for. It's fine. Display doesn't do shit. I would be picking Heralds. Yasuo is picking Herald. Okay, now Lilia is playing bots. I really like that. I really like that. Doing a camp and then doing something. You don't really like have vision, have information. Now we can guess that they're on Herald right now. So you can afford to go for this. You can afford to... I really like this. I really like that whole sequence. Really like it. Okay, I think that the walls are more consistent and going for that dive. Reason is, it might be a bit advanced, but your bot lane stayed for a long time. They have gold to spend. So even if you go for that kill after, the next play is going to be just to back to reset. Kha'Zix was top, so after that he wants to go bot, most likely, and get his wolves. And when you think about it, wolves is like 100 gold for you, but 100 gold denied for them, plus the experience, so it's almost a kill. And that kill doesn't achieve anything because you're not going to get the turret. So for all of these reasons, I would be more keen to go for wolves. Scuttle, now you get a kill of value, and then go back bot. Go back mid.
Okay.
It's still fine. Okay, so now we're playing for the Drake, which is spawning in 15, so it's fine to go bot but you see, now your bot lane is off tempo. It's not your fault, but that's why I wouldn't like encourage them to go for a dive here. And now she wants to base on the Drake timer.
Yeah.
Tempo. In this elo, it's pretty tough. Okay, I mean, I don't really care how you play out the fight. I think you're gonna win this because you're just so ahead as a team. Go in and out, you realize that you don't need to be there on Drake, and so you go in instant push mid. This is really good. But the only issue I have is that I'm not seeing like any ping of you like going in, going back. Like you're just ping that Ahri was missing on the map when she was missing. Maybe Kled alive for his ult. Yeah, you need to make like a bit more calls for your team. Okay, and now next objective is gonna be top side. It's gonna be the Nash. So it's really good. You see, by going bot, you chase them. You chase them from bot, and now we're just applying pressure bot. We have Kraken. I would argue that maybe Kraken. So you need to think about who you're gonna actually be hitting this game. Are you gonna be hitting Kled and Alistar, or are you gonna be hitting like Yasuo, Ahri, and Kha'Zix?
I was thinking that Kled was gonna side lane versus me, but
okay, then it's fine.
Not.
Then I'm happy about the Kraken. That's it. Like legit, like you can make mistakes. You can like not know that they would actually send Ahri, but I think it's more likely that they send Ahri because Ahri has a TP and Kled with Ignite. But still, it's really fine to think that, well, if they send Kled and have a Gale Force, for example, or any other like that kind of item, I'm not gonna kill him. But if they send Ahri and have a Kraken, maybe I can still look for a kill. Or maybe if I have a Gale Force, I still cannot kill Ahri. As long as you think about it, I'm really happy. And if it's Yasuo, like you can kill him with one item, like he's so. And Yasuo doesn't want to side lane because they were one of the win conditions, you know, like the big combo, Yasuo Alistar. So yeah, you bring two bots for that Nash, really good. Apply the pressure, you get the turrets, you get a bit more, and now we just reset. This is really good. This is awesome. Nothing to say here. Okay, now we pushed up. Now we're gonna wait for our team to be in position pressure. But Kai'Sa just died. So we don't want to go too crazy. Because Team Tide cannot take shit from it. And let's build this pushing. We see that no one's pushing. We base really good. Okay. Like, when the team is ahead in mid late game, I really like what you're doing. You decide to play the split. Our team is independent. They cannot really get engaged. They are winning. They can engage. So we can just play the split here and apply pressure. We wait for our team to be in a position to pressure to apply hard pressure. I really like this. That's how splitting should be done. Okay, I'm saying some good things. I'm happy. And now they're not in a position to pressure again. So yeah, we're kind of waiting. Eyes on minimap right at this moment. And we make her use ult. And she cannot kill us. Because we have ult breaker. That's really nice. Now she has no ult. But team is backing. So we're gonna... Okay, but now they... Okay, I really like this. Like the whole like splitting thing. I think you got it figured out. Because she has no ult. Now you can go. And now you can just take this. Man, that's... It's close to perfect. That's how it should be done.
Nice.
Good. And now we're staying on the map, even if we have a ton of gold, right? We have like a ton of gold, but we're staying because we want to be applying pressure for that Drake, most likely. Just making sure that we're doing the things for the right reasons. Okay, we just shit on that guy, and then okay, that was a bit unnecessary.
There's the int.
Yeah, because now you're dying topside 25 seconds before before Nash on a Drake timer. So if your team wants to play Drake, they can just maybe go play for that Nash. Okay, but you know, like the moment you got a bit too excited, especially because you had like 3k gold or something. And now we're just gonna deploy ourselves bot. And yeah, you're forcing your team to play a 4v5 now, but they win it and they FF. Okay, really nice. So I mean, the common things that I'm seeing though is like early on again, like messing a bit with your tempo. So the jungle tracking again wasn't done to the best of its capacity, you know, kind of guessing with not full information where the enemy is, and making that play for me is terrible. Like you could legit lose the game from that play, because again, you know that they know where Lilia is. So they know that if they gank you, like it's a 1v2. And also you're supposed to know that Kha'Zix is not on this scuttle, so Kha'Zix is on this scuttle. So I don't know what makes you that confident here. Then it will be messing a bit of your tempo. Like for example, when you try to participate in that play, and you had like so much gold and you had a power spike, etc. So probably again playing against around the cannon waves. Oh yeah, when you had the base for pickaxe. Yeah, you had the base for a pickaxe on a cannon wave, but you decide to stay and achieve nothing from it. And then it will be like the general idea of just not being the one making the calls. So I don't know. So I don't know if you don't see the calls or if you just don't make them, but you should be the one seeing them and making them, basically. And those are like the three big concepts that I'm seeing that are appearing in both games that we just saw.
Okay.
Okay, but like props for like the whole splitting thing, etc. Like that was done like really well, really well. I wouldn't do like much better than that. Okay, did that bring any other question? Anything you want to discuss, talk about regarding that game or the game in general?
I guess like I'm pretty inconsistent with like my laning phase, and I think it's because my jungle tracking's like kind of bad. How do you work on that?
Well, first okay, are you a sports guy? Do you
Not really.
like have you ever like done any sports? Not
Oh
really.
yeah.
Yeah, which one?
Cross country and swimming.
Okay, what's cross country?
It's like running long distance,
Okay,
like a
so
5K.
okay. Well, these sports are not good example of what I'm gonna talk about. So, okay, let's imagine you said football, you know, like
Okay.
American football. If so, you probably like know what a football training looks like. So, do football players just play football games to get better, or do they make drills of, you know, like the quarterbacks are just gonna do like passing for hours, and then they're all gonna do just running to work their cardio, and then they're just gonna go to the gym and not even touch a ball to get like more strong, etc. So whenever you're trying to get better at any like thing in life, the best way to do it is by doing drills. But in League, for some reason, like we don't have a really good way to do drills. Like, it's not like Rocket League. I mean, we have the practice tool, but it doesn't really work. And so because you don't have way to make drills and learn a concept, you have to be the one forcing yourself into drills. So the best way to learn jungle tracking is like at some point you decide to not like give too much value to your elo and your LP and winning or losing, and you put your focus on tracking the jungler, and you do it for 5, 10, 15, 20 games. You just say, okay, this game, my only objective is to know at any time where both junglers are and are going, and what it kind of implies for me. And that's how you're gonna get better. It's by applying focus and attention to it. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. Because like you see, like for example, the fact that now you have the ward, and I can say that he's either on red buff or in his like bot camps, but like finishing his clear bot. It's not like it's nothing crazy. Just that if he was doing a full clear, he would be on these camps because it's a full clear. So he will do the 3 camps. So now all I know is that he's not doing a full clear. And he's not starting top. So it's either 2 options. full clear starting bots. And then after the full clear, he's not going on those. Because also something you can do, which is going to help you a lot, is you track the enemy jungler by tracking your own jungler. They almost all like clear at the same pace these days because of the little like monsters they have, etc. And how simple it has become, the fact that you cannot clear 2 camps at the same time. So by the time Lilia has cleared all of her camps, most likely Kha'Zix is supposed to have cleared all of his camps. So now you're knowing, yeah, I was gonna say, so now you're knowing that if he didn't clear all of his camps, it means that like his only camp left to clear has to be this one. Because it makes no sense that he didn't gank, and Lilia got 6 camps, and this guy only got like 3 or like, what am I saying? Like 4 and not ganked. So most likely he got 5 camps, and now this is the last camp he's doing. Because your Lilia has done all of her camps during that time. So it's either he's Giga Supra slow and he's being stupid, or he's AFK, or it means that this is the last camp that he's doing. And now guess what? After doing that last camp, and your bot lane is dying, where is he gonna go? Is he gonna play bot scuttle? Of course not. He has no bot lane and Lilia is bot already. So he's gonna do top scuttle. And then what is he gonna do after top scuttle? Well, he's gonna either like base and look to clear his camps, but now they have a bit of a timer, the junglers. Maybe you know that, maybe you don't. Well, now you know it. That if they do full clear into scuttle and base and go to their next camp, they would have to wait a bit, like 15 seconds. So what junglers do is that they either go for a gank before doing scuttle, or they go for a gank after doing scuttle. Or if they're losing the scuttle fight, let's say Kha'Zix did top to bot, and now he wants to play the scuttle, but he sees that Lilia is on scuttle and he's not gonna win it, they would base, not take the scuttle, go straight into the top scuttle, and then do the full clear again. And that's about it. That's how like jungle tracking doesn't matter that much after like 12, 13, 14 minutes, because then it's just like most likely they're gonna play around the objective. And also at some point they're gonna get out of their like rhythm of doing like top to bot, top to bot, top to bot. Something is gonna take them out of their rhythm, and then you will kind of like need words and need to like think about the objectives in order to track them. But when we talk about jungle tracking, it's jungle tracking during the first few levels, because the higher you're gonna go, the closer you're gonna go to high diamond and masters. The more the game are gonna be decided at minute like 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're gonna be decided because you played or not around like your junglers. So yeah, but you need to put focus. I mean, the best way to do it, the thing is you told me like you don't watch that much competitive. So I don't know if you watch streamers also or VODs or not really.
Yeah, I watched like some like Trendamere VODs to like kind of see how matchups are supposed to go, or like how I can play against them.
Okay, well in that case, that's the best way to do it. So you're already watching them like, and you're putting attention to the matchups, which is really good. Now what you can try to do is also like put attention to the jungle tracking, because of course when you're playing, you have to last hit, you have to think about so many things. You can have like some pressure at some points, etc. When you're watching, it's so easy. You're just watching and you're chilling, and you can put like your full focus on it. So it could be good like watching a game of someone else, and then trying to again like make the assumptions, so for example, like general ideas you can have is like if you're playing against a Twitch jungle or a Xin Zhao jungle or anything that's or Elise, like you have some champions where top to bot, bot to top like doesn't work, because they're just most likely gonna get 1 camp or 2 camps and then look wherever like they can get the gank off, and they will get the gank off there. So against those junglers, you don't want to trade HP for nothing, because if you trade HP, they're just gonna come to your lane, for example. Now, if you're playing against some junglers like Shyvana, Karthus, Master Yi, like you know that most likely they're gonna full clear 100%. So now you know that you can go crazy on your lane, because unless it's a free gank, they're not gonna come. They don't wanna come. And if you know where they started, they know where they're gonna end, like 95% of the time. That kind of things. Then if your jungler is invading, you should put a ward in like if Lilia was invading this side, you should put a ward in this side, because if they don't get this side of your jungle, then Lilia is just winning. She gets 1, 2, 3 quarters of the jungle. It's that kind of general ideas, but you need to put focus on it, and you need to be convinced of how important it is. Because legit, when I saw you make that play at level 4 in my games, it's like I legit said like you would lose the game here, and because you would lose the game here against better players, this loses you the game because you made the play without like taking into account where the jungler was or could be. And then the wave
Yeah.
is bad, and then they freeze on you, and then they come again because you have no flash most likely, and then you just cannot play. So you're forced to ask Lilia to come and fix the wave for you, and Lilia probably doesn't want to. It can get terrible. So first, realizing how important it actually is, and then second, putting your attention to it, and then third, like probably like, maybe watch a pro guides video or a skill cap video. I'm sure like they have videos that say like everything you need to know about jungle tracking in season 13, and maybe just watch one of those, and yeah, that would be my advice. Okay, anything else you want to ask, want to discuss?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just focus on improving one thing at a time.
Oh yeah, and we don't really have ways to do it, so you're kind of forced to. Like for example, like I sometimes I will play like 40 games in a row and say for the next 40 games I'm just gonna practice ulting at the very last moment, and I lose a shit ton of LP, and I lose a shit ton of game, and I miss a shit ton of ults, but long term I'm able to ult at the last moment more often. I'm still not doing it perfect, of course, but yeah, so you kind of have to be the one putting yourself into like exercises and intentions. Sometimes I would be like, okay, I want 10 CS per minute. That's all I want, and I would just play for that. And that's how you get better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to focus on specific things because there's like so much going on. I get like overwhelmed sometimes. Don't really know what to focus on or think about.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to try to be a perfect player or like to do everything like great. And maybe I don't know like how much like value you give to winning or losing, but if you manage to shift your focus from the outcome of the game to just learning something, well then every game becomes a win. The game becomes way less frustrating, and also you're gonna learn faster, and then you're gonna win more games long term. So that would be like the end goal if you wanna like really keep pushing, because now you're getting in like you're in low diamond, so you're at a spot where everyone like knows how to pilot their champion. Everyone has a good like general idea of how to play and win the game. So now like you need to reinforce the fundamentals, and yeah, to go back to the thing that you know how to do, but now like actually go into mastering them, and you're not gonna do them all at the time. Like it's one by one. So you just kind of decide like which one you want to focus on, which one you feel like would be the more important. Because I could also talk like about your trade patterns. I feel like it happens often, like actually later here. You actually like sometimes lose a lot of HP for no particular reason into Ari, etc. But I feel like this is not what's costing you the most, so I'm not talking about it. But of course, everything could be improved. Like even you take Faker, everything could be improved. Like you can do everything a bit better. So I talked about like the things that I think were like mattered the most. Like for example, yeah, the little thing that I said into Ari that you shouldn't put yourself in your wave so she doesn't get like spells that both hit you and the wave. So now she has to choose regarding like using her mana. She has to choose between poking you or hitting the wave. But here, for example, you gave her a Q that both pokes you and hits the wave. That kind of things.
Yeah.
So this is a good general idea like against mages in mid lane or anyone who has like AoE damage. But yeah, this is not, I think, what you should focus on so far.
Okay.
Okay, any other thing, question, discussion?
I don't think I have anything right now, but Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that you gave me to work on.
Yeah, hopefully I was able to give you some valuable information. Um, okay. Well, if we're getting to the end of it, also know that if you can think of anything like later, you unlock like the messages to Chaddouk token, which means that you can ask me anything, of course, on YouTube or on Twitch. Like, I answer all of those, but you can also ask me directly on Discord, and I will try to answer to the best of my capacity. So yeah, if you want to ask me about the play, build, matchup, anything, you can do it on Discord. Okay, well, if we're going to the
Cool.
end of it, it's the yeah, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I said cool. Like,
Oh, okay,
thank you.
nice. So it's the moment where I would have questions for you. I actually have only two questions for you. Uh,
Sure.
the first one is, of course, I'm trying to make you guys better players, but also I'm trying to make myself a better coach. So if you can, like, from the top of your head, think of the things that I've been doing right during this session, so I can just keep doing those. But also, if I've been doing anything wrong or could be improved in your opinion, please let me know as well, so I like can work on that.
Um, I think a good thing is that you gave like a lot of information, but I guess it could also be a negative because it's like it's a lot to like process like in the moment. Like I'll definitely have to go back and like rewatch it
Oh yeah,
to kind of see. I like how you have like the notes on the side of like each moment where you like saw a mistake that I made and then we went over it in the review. I think that was
mm,
pretty yeah.
I can
Um,
send them to you by the way also.
oh, cool. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, that's about it for the review. I mean, you don't have to think about anything else. Just like want to make sure that um, if that's all you had to say regarding it. Okay, and then the very last question I would have, it would be asking. So I'm trying to actually like benchmark, and of course, like I'm not gonna do like free coachings forever, and I'm looking like to like understand how I should like fixate my prices. So what do you think would be a fair price for this kind of session in dollars?
Uh, I'm not really sure. I don't know, like I'm not really familiar with like coaching prices, but I mean, I'd probably pay like 50 to $70.
Okay, just gonna put 60 out there. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm just taking the numbers from everyone, and then I will do like so like an average basically, and see how that sounds. Okay, nice. And then the very last thing, Alex. I mean, of course, like I have a secret agenda behind all of this. I'm trying to like promote myself. I'm trying to like get more people to knowing me, of course.
Mhm.
So I would drop to you like which like the thing that matters the most, basically like my Twitch and my YouTube channel. So if you think you can get value from those, well, feel free to drop a follow. Knowing that I don't play mid lane that much these days, I'm more of a top lane guy. So maybe like regarding the matchup, it's not the best, but I know that I have a project which I will do after the coachings and also the reviews. Like I was reviewing 100 of my games in a row, and I still have like 36 games to review. So I still have a bit of work, but once I would have done that, I have the project of going on 4 accounts. And one account I would play Trynd top, one Trynd mid, and one Trynd ADC, and one Trynd jungle, and just play like 100 games on each of those, and then just see like where I can bring the accounts, which one like gives me the most success, etc. So I can have an actual benchmark of Tryndamere on every single role. So then you will have like a lot of million games that could help. And I
Yeah.
think it could be funny. I mean, it's gonna be 400 games to play, so it's gonna take forever, but I think it can be pretty funny to do as an experiment.
Yeah, that would be fun to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually already follow your YouTube and Twitch. I
Oh,
found
thank
you
you so much.
when you posted the Tryndamere matchup sheet. That was really helpful.
Okay, you've been. Yeah, I'm sorry that there is like so few like mid matchups. Like you don't have Victor, Ari, Vex, etc. But I will work on like putting every single matchup there when I will be playing like the other roles for sure. So who are you on Twitch? So I just like know that it's you.
Uh, my Twitch is 4N boy.
For and boy.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, I think I would try to remember that for and boy. Okay, okay. I see. Well, thank you for the follow then, and for the support. Okay, bro. Well, is that good for you? Anything else you wanna discuss, or we're good on your side?
I think that was good. Like that was really informative. I've never really like done a league coaching before, but I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. I enjoyed it as well. You're pretty coachable. It was pretty nice, and you made me really proud with the splitting at the end. So yeah, that was a nice session for me as well. Okay, well, if it's good for you, it's good for me as well, Alex. So thank you again. Good luck and have fun for your games, your climb, and for your life as well. And I will see you next time, hopefully.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. See you, bro. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye.
Take care. Take care. Bye bye. Okay, and that was coaching number 8.